Hi, I'm Jordan LaRose. I'm the Director of Infrastructure Security at NCC Group North America. Actually, I have a degree in English Studies, so no cybersecurity background there. I started as a technical writer, learned a bit about cybersecurity through technical writing, editing reports, things like that. And after some time, I picked up enough knowledge and did enough homework on my own that I was picked up by a penetration testing team. I worked in pen testing for a few years and then eventually got interested in incident response. So I got some experience on the blue team side of things as well. And then I moved through to different consultancies, different areas of work. I got a lot of experience running businesses, seeing businesses tackle security programs, and eventually got to where I am today, which is Director of Infrastructure Security. So as Global Director of Infrastructure Security, I oversee all of our infrastructure security services. So that includes network penetration testing, wireless penetration testing, database pen testing. There's many offerings that it covers, but basically anything that's layer 2, 3, 4, network connected. So I oversee the service offerings, service development there. I speak to clients about our services. I develop some of the technical tooling and manage a few of the teams as well globally. That was a takedown of a ransomware group called Hive. Hive was a reseller of ransomware software, and they also provided a sort of a nexus for ransomware attackers to go to and either trade information or sell access to customer environments, things like that. So the takedown effort was a coordinated effort from the FBI and many other international police organizations. They jumped in and essentially, usually when a takedown like this happens, there are arrests that go with it. There were no arrests this time, and my theory or my reasoning there is that the FBI really wanted to just shut down that operation as quickly as possible based on the amount of ransomware traffic that was going through the website. So I'm sure they saved many environments, many organizations all over the world from ransomware attacks when they did that. And it speaks to a wider trend that we've been seeing in the industry where global police organizations will collaborate in, taking down these ransomware groups and making the world a safer place from a cybersecurity perspective. So it's really good to see that type of activity. So cybersecurity is something that's constantly evolving. I think specifically in the next few years, there are a few hot topics that I think we're all sort of looking at how they'll evolve and how they'll change. Obviously, AI is one of those. We've already seen AI have influence on things like password guessing attacks. There's potential for phishing, where you can use AI to build deepfake or even a audio recording of a real person. Things like ChatGPT can write phishing emails for you. And even now they can also generate some exploit payloads as well, although that functionality, at least in my experience, is a little bit spotty thus far, but that's part of the evolution we're seeing is it's getting better day over day. So certainly AI is something to look at. Also, zero trust is another thing that a lot of organizations are moving towards. The US government in particular has said that they're going to move everything to zero trust across all of their organizations by 2024. We'll see in terms of how that actually shakes out. But zero trust is a very different model to what we're used to seeing in the industry across traditional on-prem infrastructure and I guess a shared internal network model where organizations implicitly trust things that are on their internal network. As we've seen with a lot of things like ransomware, that's not an effective model in terms of defense. So we've seen a lot of moves towards that, zero trust architecture. Each host has its own authentication and its own identification mechanisms, and centralized management is done a lot differently. So seeing the ways that some of those technologies will evolve and also seeing whether or not there's widespread adoption and implementation, I think will be another thing to keep an eye on over the next few years. If you're interested in cybersecurity, the best way to get into it is really just to jump into the community. We have an amazing community of people from all different backgrounds all over the world. And really everybody's just there to increase everyone's knowledge of cybersecurity, help others get into the industry and understand things. Specifically, some of the activities that I would highly recommend would be capture the flag exercises. Even if you know nothing or almost nothing about computers or cybersecurity, there are introductory level capture the flags out there that you can try. If you're already a novice or even intermediate, there are certainly ones that escalate in difficulty that you can just jump in, collaborate with some friends or maybe some strangers and learn a thing or two about getting your hands dirty and actually exploiting some of these systems. So capture the flag is definitely a great place to start, great place to get your hands dirty, but also there are plenty of courses, certifications, boot camps, programs out there for those that are interested in learning more from an academic perspective. And those are extremely valuable as well. They're usually pretty fast. I would say usually 3 to 6 months long. So you can really, get off to a very quick start in this industry if you have the passion and interest level. There's many different ways and angles to look at cybersecurity. I would say if you're looking for, a good place to get started with CTF or practical exploitation, I always personally recommend overthewire.org. It's a collection of live CTF exercises, completely free, open to the public, and it'll teach you all kinds of things about Linux, protocol exploitation, cryptography, web application testing, and more. It's a great resource and it's maintained by the community. And I think in terms of getting engaged with overall community resources, there are some great mailing lists that you can either join or watch, such as the ones on sec lists. That's a great place to just see, what's happening, what's going on in the community. There's also plenty of users on Twitter that you can follow and look at, current exploit development or just trends that are happening there. And also conferences are a great place to go to just meet and greet people that are in the industry. Maybe they're new, maybe they're old, but everybody there is interested and engaged. So it's a great place to get started as well. Specifically, the one I would probably recommend to people that are new would be B-Sides. It's a very laid back conference. There's usually one for each metropolitan area. And B-Sides conferences are really focused on, technical learning. They're focused on, community engagement. And like I said, they're really laid back and easy to go to. So, even if you're a beginner, there's no pressure on you for knowledge of the conference or anything like that. So would highly recommend B-Sides in any of its forms.